Hi folks, I'm JP and I'm a solo independent game developer, and this is another update video on what I've been working on. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and a bunch of stuff has happened and I want to show it to you and talk to you about it and all that. So towards the end of last month I decided that I've been working on this longer term project and that was going pretty well. It's taking longer than I had anticipated, and I was like, I should make a small game. I should make like as small a game as I possibly can within like a very small time frame, and try to actually just ship something. You know, do a game with a title screen and graphics and sound, and then try to ship that. And so what we're looking at on screen right here is what I made. There's a whole story behind this game, I guess, that isn't very interesting. But yeah, I released this at the end of last month, and then I did a little bit more tech work on the game, and then but more like the underlying tool that I'm using, which for those just joining us is Playscii, an ASCII art creation, ASCII art animation and game creation tool that I've built over the past since the beginning of this year. And yeah, like normally it's kind of an art tool, but also you can do animations and stuff, and it also has like this game engine thing to it. Like that's what I was really building it for. So yeah, I thought about what kind of games I could make that would just be like a really trivial, straightforward game. This is like the weirdest game in the world to demo. Just because I don't know what joke game means, but maybe this is a joke game, maybe it's not, I don't know. There's more to it than what you're seeing right now, which is just a little person climbing up a ladder endlessly. I can click on them and what should do here? And then you can fall. Yeah, I'm gonna make myself able to climb really quickly, because yeah, you can see the colors starting to change here as you climb higher, and occasionally there's clouds going by. So I don't want to spoil any other things that might happen in this game, but yeah, that's what Endless Ladder Climbing 2 is. It's up on itch.io. And it along with Playscii is oops. Oh wait, you're seeing behind the scenes my incredible itch.io presence. But yeah, you can get Endless Ladder Climbing 2 on itch.io. It's a pay what you want download, like only pay anything if you want to support development and what I'm doing and stuff. And I tabbed away, and yeah, like my character finished falling to the ground there. And when you start a new game, a record of your past playthrough is happening. So anyway, that's Endless Ladder Climbing. But yeah, it ended up being pretty good. Like the process of making this ended up being pretty good for the stuff I was doing. I had to make a bunch of little changes and improvements to Playscii, like the underlying engine and art tool that I made. And yeah, here's some of the code for Endless Ladder Climbing, where we're just taking like a base game object type class, and we've got a player who can like do stuff based on player input. Oh yeah, and I added sound playback. That was cool, you know, so that now I can play. You can play music during gameplay and sounds and all that stuff. And every little piece of every little object or piece of art that you're working with here is a piece of ASCII art that you can edit. You know, I can change their arm around and do a weird thing or something, and that's reflected in real time. That's my sweet engine demo. And you can do animation as well. This is all the different pieces of art and animation this is my amazing animation capabilities. But you understand. and yeah, I just had to make a bunch of improvements and stuff to be able to finish a game with it, and that was really good to do. I also This is the kind of video update where I open up different code files and talk about them. So hope you enjoy that. Yeah, I had to make my I had to decouple. I had to do like a pretty common game development, game engine design thing, where I had to decouple my renderer frame rate from my simulation frame rate, because I tried it on a laptop that was like, kind of old and slow and has like an Intel GPU, and the game like the actual climbing speed was like unbearably slow, and I was like, oh my gosh, right, I need to do that thing that you just always want to do in a game engine, which is have a fixed time step so that the game doesn't actually run more slowly. So yeah, I did that. That was and just kind of restructured the whole application's like core loop to be a little more sane and like other, game engines and stuff. That was cool. And yeah, so yeah, I want to back up a little bit. Like I said, yeah, I made Endless Ladder Climbing 2 because I was like, I've been working on this demo for a larger game that is like unannounced, but I've shown some stuff of it before on this video series. And I was starting to lose confidence, in my. It was taking longer. It was taking longer to do the demo for the big project than I had anticipated, and that's okay. Like, that's just something that happens in game development. You do your best trying to estimate how long it'll take, and then it always takes twice as long, no matter how careful and safe you try to be. And yeah, like, I was thinking ahead to like, yeah, what's my financial situation and all that sort of stuff, and I think a friend of mine once described my brain as being like a stack of dominoes, like if I start thinking about one thing and that tips on another thing and then the next thing, and I just kind of have to think it through to its conclusion. And the pretty understandable thing that I was thinking about was how much money do I have in my savings versus how much I'm making on Patreon, and how long can I keep doing this? And so I started like really getting worried and about the future, not like a month or two from now, but like, towards the end of this year or something, I would be really starting to like have to change my plan somehow. And I'll be honest, like, I don't know, I've shared my process with y'all, and I have all this, game development and programming and creative stuff that I want to talk about, but I do kind of also, I don't know, like, I got really depressed like a couple of weeks ago. Like after I shipped this game and put it up on itch.io, I wasn't expecting anything huge out of it. I did a little promotional push. I got people to link it on Twitter, and and I got some sales on Patreon, on itch.io. It's a pay what you want thing, and I think people who are already supporting my work or just thought it was cool, like, chipped in a few bucks, and I really appreciate that. But it's also, like, that's not like a drastic like releasing a game that you made in 7 days is not really, going to alter your income very drastically. And so yeah, I just got thinking about the future, and yeah, I got like really depressed because I was like, I don't have an easy answer for what I'm going to do here, like this. I still want to make this big project, and I also want to make like these smaller projects. And that little push that I did end up like, I don't know, some very nice folks on the internet like ended up chipping into my Patreon a little more, and that is always really appreciated. Like, that cuts down my living expenses and means that, anything else that I do, I have to do less of to get money coming in. So I did end up taking like some contracting work that I'm going to be doing for a while. And it is going to take up a lot of my time, but my hope, and I will let you know if this changes, my hope is that I will still be able to continue working on all of this stuff in my spare time. I think I absolutely will. I think it's the kind of work that like isn't going to like tax me, like mentally, in the same way that like the day job that I had for years at game studios did. Anyway, I don't want to promise anything, but I would really like to continue working on my big project in my spare time. But also work on smaller projects that take like a week or a month or maybe like at the most 2 months, considering it's spare time. I want to do smaller stuff along the way. I think in my ideal world, where I didn't have to worry about money at all, I probably would alternate between working on, moving my big project forward ahead and also doing like these smaller things, because I think both are really important. And now that I've got this game engine thing that I can make small games with, I really want to do that. I've got like a few smaller games in my head that I wanna just jam out and see what I can do with this tool that I've made. That was definitely like part of my impetus for making this tool in the first place. It wasn't just building an engine/tool to make one game with. It was like, well, yeah, I could imagine, a dozen things that I could potentially make with this. So anyway, yeah, I hope you don't mind me sharing like a little slice of my life. But I came out of like, after the contracting sort of opportunity like came together, and I knew that was going to happen, and I knew that I would at least have money coming in. I wasn't like super depressed and worried and terrified anymore, and that was really good. I'm not really going to talk about that contracting work stuff. I might, if it ever, if it comes of something publicly, and it, I might share it with folks. But anyway, yeah. So I think that's where I'm at. What else have I done? Like I have done a fair amount of work on Playscii. I added this file dialog thing. Like I wanted like a graphical. Previously, like you would just have to like, and this is still the case for when you want to import an image to convert it into ASCII characters. But previously, you would just like, if you wanted, you just had to like type in a file name and like get it exactly right and get the case right and all that. And I was like, that works for me kind of, but like it's also not super great. So I made this file dialog with like a visual preview, like all the art files that you have in a directory, and then you can navigate directories and all that, and I can view different projects and all that, and it saves out a thumbnail whenever you open or save a file and all that. So that's cool, and it does autocomplete, so I can like, and I can page up and page down. But yeah, the like sort of find as you type within a directory thing, I don't know, like it works how I want it to, and it feels nice and fast, and it resulted in a marked improvement in just like opening up files and wrangling all the different stuff that you do when you've got a directory full of hard assets. So that's cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that. What else did I do? I fixed several bugs, like some folks filed bugs on my on the project's Bitbucket page, and that was, so I was able to make the program a little more stable and work properly and all that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, what else? Yeah, I mean, sound, refactoring like the game loop so that the frame rate is not terrible. Yeah, you can actually, if you download Endless Ladder Climbing on itch.io, all of the source code files are just in, yeah, like they're in the Ladder 2 scripts directory, and you can just see like it's only like, a few kilobytes of code that are making this game run. I guess I could get into more detail about that. This is the player. You can have sounds, like objects can have states, and you can have different sound effects associated with those states. Like adding in support for that was pretty cool to have. And then yeah, like I added this whole concept of like, well, I really just kind of mocked it up within the game, like having screens, so that different things happen on different. There's a little bit of spoilers here. For the game, but yeah, and I think that's something that I want to add a more general, robust version of to Playscii, is just being able to make screens where I don't want to necessarily like load an entire new world or anything, but there's a lot of like old games, whether it's like a level is a single screen that doesn't scroll because of like old technical limitations. Or if it's just like a useful, like if you have like a Zelda dungeon-like game or something where you're going between different rooms and stuff, which is what my big project is about, like being able to have different screens of data loaded into memory and being able to have a player travel between those. there's just some common code concepts, and so I want to add that because I think that plugs into, like, I could have actually used it if I had built that system. Then it would have made building Endless Ladder Climbing 2 easier in some ways. And then, like, the next small game that I want to make with Playscii could really benefit from it, and then, like, the big project could also benefit from it. So I think I'm going to add, like, a concept of game screens to Playscii, and that'll be cool to have. I don't know, yeah, I'm just looking at my to-do here. Like, this is all up on Bitbucket, you can look at the code and all. Yeah, I made it a little easier to distribute games. Like, nowadays, if you ship a game with Playscii, I don't know if anybody extremely intrepid out there watching this video would try to ship a game. But yeah, you can put a file, you can just take normal Playscii, you can just unzip Playscii and name the directory whatever you want, rename the executable if you really want to. But if you put a file called autoplay _this_game, autoplay this game, if you put a file in there, if you put a file called that in the same directory with Playscii, then it will read the first line of that file and it will automatically load up that game. And that's how that's an easy way to, like, distribute games, and it will boot it up in kind of a kiosk mode, sort of, where the user can't bail out of. Oops. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, if I run Playscii with that, then I can't enter the normal editing mode, and I can do all the stuff that a player of a video game would do, but not like jump out of it. So it's not like it's not like this bulletproof, you can't hack this game sort of thing. It's just something to aid and to make it easier to distribute games. Like, if you're just working with a game directory in Playscii and you want to distribute it, then yeah, you can just do that. Yeah, because you'll basically be distributing source along with it. Like, Playscii is under the MIT license, although anything that you make with it can be whatever license you want. I don't seek to control how people use it. So yeah, yeah. And aside from that, yeah, I've got some other just features and stuff that I want to get to, but mainly I want to make some small little games. I want to build in some infrastructure that'll be helpful to me for multiple future projects. Aside from that, like, in addition to the Playscii stuff that I did, I also did. This is probably for another stream, actually. But I made a mod for, like, I did that tourism mod for Unreal 1, where there's no enemies in the world, like they're all just kind of gone. And I did a similar thing, like, when I was feeling really depressed and I, like, couldn't get much programming done. I was still, like, in the mood to tinker with something. So I went into I booted up Dromed, the Thief 1 and 2 editor, and I made a tourism mod, which is to say, like, just a version of let's see, sorry, can't type and talk at the same time. Oh gosh, yeah, we probably changed resolutions here. I hope that's not, I don't know, we'll see how that went. It should be fine. Should be fine. Anyway, oh, and of course this is the worst possible. I'm demoing it badly. Yeah, this is just not gonna work. Anyway, I made a mod for Thief that makes everybody not pay attention to you, so that you can just kind of wander around the levels. Also, man, there's some Thief spoilers here, so... Oh, I don't know. It's not that much of a spoiler. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, these gross jerks would normally be, like, coming after me and trying to find me and killing me and stuff. But they are not, because that's how that mod works. Anyway, that's something I made, and I'll probably do, like, I'll probably stream 1 or 2 levels with it before too long. I don't know if I want to Let's Play the entire game, but... you know, that's a cool thing, and I'm gonna, like, kind of do a proper release of that. Like, I don't know what form that will take yet, but I will definitely offer that mod to download for anybody who really wants to do that weird thing that I seem to want to do. So yeah, I did that, And I'm trying to think what else. I did a little bit of work on a Twitter bot thing that I don't want to unveil yet until it's further along. But yeah, anyway, so that is a dump of where my life is at, and also just like what I've been working on. Yeah, like, so yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than I was a couple of weeks ago about what I'm working on and my prospects and whether I can keep doing this. The contract stuff is going to be a lot of hard work, I think, but I don't imagine it's going to drain me as a person. I wouldn't have undertaken it if that had been the case. But anyway, and yeah, like through all of that, like it did definitely, through those rough times, it did definitely help me to know that there were people out there who were willing to give me money through Patreon and just otherwise. Yeah, you know, that definitely helped me keep going and feel like what I was doing was important enough to myself and to other people. So I really appreciate that. And someday I would really like to be able to just, you know, be supported like that full time and just be able to work on this stuff, you know, nonstop every day of the week. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and folks who are supporting me on Patreon, thank you so much. I put y'all in the credits for Endless Ladder Climbing. Like, this is my patrons list so far. Anybody who started backing me, who started supporting me on Patreon after I was linking this list, who wants to be in the credits for Playscii and other games that I make, please, yeah, let me know. I'll put up the link for the spreadsheet. You can put your name in or whatever. Anyway, yeah, and that's the README for Endless Ladder Climbing 2. Let's go out on that. Let's be looking at that. Yeah, so that's all I've got. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having more cool stuff to show you next time. And yeah, thank you very much for watching and for your support. Have a good day.